Hey everybody, this is Paul from the 125 Roller Coaster Challenge, and let's admit it, we all love to rank things. Which are the top 10 restaurants in your town? Who has the best offense in the NFL? Heck, who is your favorite Avenger? So of course, when it comes to amusement parks and roller coasters, we all have our favorites. Just type in top 10 roller coasters in your YouTube search bar and you will see hundreds of videos pop up. So we decided to do something a little bit different. So instead of ranking our top coasters, we're going to be grading each coaster. Of course, before we kick everything off, remember to like and subscribe to this channel because we have a lot of new videos coming in 2023 and we don't want you to miss a thing. Yep, it's report card season, so kick back, relax, and enjoy our thoughts on the roller coasters at Six Flags Great Adventure. After our intro, of course. Okay, so what are these grades and what do they mean? Well, we are going to be giving each of the 14 roller coasters currently operating at Six Flags Great Adventure a grade from A to F. A grade of an A means this coaster is a must-ride every time. It is usually one of the first rides we run to when we arrive, and the day isn't complete without a ride or two. The grade of a B+ means that we gotta ride this coaster, and we make a point of getting in line, even if it's long that day, just to enjoy these great coasters. Getting a grade of a B means that we try to ride this, but unlike the B+ coasters, if the line is crazy, we will make our way back later in the day to see if it slows down. We try to ride this ride during the visit, but sometimes we might not make it. The grade of a C means it has to have no line. It doesn't mean it has to be walk-on, but if we see a 15-minute wait, we're going to walk right on by and we may not stop back later. The grade of a D means that, hey, we got this credit already, we really don't need to ride it ever again. Maybe if we haven't ridden it in a year or two, we might wait for it, but all in all, it's not a priority when we visit the park. And of course, the grade of an F means that these rides are painful and we are never going to ride these again, unless we lose a bet. So let's talk a little bit about Six Flags Great Adventure before we dive into the coasters. Six Flags Great Adventure is located in Jackson, New Jersey, and was one of the first parks to join the Six Flags chain. Opening in 1974 and the brainchild of Warren Leroy, who like many others at the time, saw the success of Disneyland and wanted to create their own, Six Flags purchased the park in 1977. Currently, this park also has a water park, Hurricane Harbor, and a safari, which makes it one of the largest amusement parks in the world at 510 acres. Housing 58 attractions, with 14 being roller coasters, this park has an average attendance of over 3 million guests a year. Okay, let's talk about the coasters. These are in no particular order, so let's just kick it off with one of the many DC-themed rides, Green Lantern. This stand-up coaster was originally called Chang and was one of the standout coasters at Kentucky Kingdom when it was a Six Flags park. Moved to Great Adventure in 2011, this B&M is one of the largest stand-up coasters in the world and stands at 154 feet in height and has a 144-foot drop. It flies past the 5 inversions at 63 miles an hour. Green Lantern gets a grade of a C+ because we will ride it if there is no line, and we also have to be in the mood. Let's face it, stand-up coasters are not always the best, but they do give a different ride experience. Our next coaster is the king of the Six Flags clones, and it is called the Joker. Just like the other Jokers in the chain, this one is an SNS 4D free spin and opened at the park in 2016. While being located from the main gate and right along the shores of the lake, making this the first thing you see when you get into the park, we really are not a fan. A positive about the Joker is that every ride is different because of the free spinning nature of the ride, but we graded a D because for us, the spinning is not a pleasurable experience. Reminding us of Plinko from The Price is Right, we rode this coaster once, we got the credit, and we just moved on. Since we just mentioned a coaster that we skip every visit, why not discuss one that we ride every time? Medusa is the name of this floorless B&M coaster, which was actually the first floorless coaster in the world. Rethemed in 2022 back to Medusa, this coaster was known as Bizarro for the past 12 years. Standing at 142 feet in height, this coaster gives you a fantastic view of the safari before it drops you 132 feet at 61 miles an hour. You fly through 7 inversions while you're going through fire and misting elements and a few head choppers to boot. While this is the first and still considered one of the best floorless coasters, it gets an A- where we must ride it every visit unless we are in very limited time. There's a kiddie coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure, and this also was rethemed recently in the past few years. Originally known as Roadrunner Railway, it was changed to Little Devil Coaster to tie into the new Jersey Devil Coaster in 2021. This coaster gets a grade of a D because for us, it's one and done. Because even though it has a new theme, a new paint job, and a new sign, it really doesn't change the ride experience, so for us, it's not a new coaster credit. Check out the link above to see the new Junior Thrill Seekers section of the park, which opened along with our next coaster. The Jersey Devil Coaster is an original RMC single rail Raptor track coaster, which opened in 2021. It has since been mirrored into Wonder Woman Flight of Courage at Magic Mountain, and this unique coaster is the first and only single rail coaster on the East Coast. At the height of 130 feet with a speed of 58 miles per hour, this coaster earns a B+ grade because we will wait in line to experience one of our favorite stall elements. Rocky Mountain construction does not make a bad ride, and even though this coaster had some issues its first year, it is quickly becoming one of our favorites at the park. Getting back into the DC-themed rides, Batman the Ride is yet another clone at this park and has the same layout as the first ever inverted coaster built by B&M. While we love this style of coaster a lot, these Batman clones tend to be more intense and snappy than the custom counterparts. While this particular clone was built in 1993 and was the second one after the original at Six Flags Great America, it is not aging well. Yes, it does have a new paint job this year, but it earns a grade of C- because we only tend to ride it when there's nothing else to do and we happen to be on that side of the park. So why would we only ride it then? Mainly because the alternative on that side of the park is a coaster that's always on our ouch list, the Dark Knight. So we usually don't mind a mouse in a box, but when it comes to this coaster, there's a lot of hype for not much payoff. This mock wild mouse is pretty standard, with 1,213 feet of track, but with a pre-show in the queue, you expect a lot more than what this ride has to offer. Earning a grade of a D, this ride has been skipped for about 3 years, and we don't see that changing anytime soon. We are now halfway done with the coasters, so we might as well share with you the one A+ in the pack, El Toro. We aren't going to lie, this coaster has had a rough 2 years, with 2 accidents and 2 closures. Heck, currently, we don't even know if this coaster will be back in 2023, but we love El Toro so much that it maintains its A+ grade. Currently our top wooden coaster, and ranked number 7 overall in our 2022 ratings, we can't get enough of this airtime machine. Built by Intamin and sporting over 4,400 feet of track, this prefab wooden coaster features a 176-foot drop and flies at over 70 miles an hour. Yes, a wooden coaster has those stats. What makes this a must-ride every time is all the ejector air on the Camelback Hills, along with its amazing pacing. El Toro might be asleep currently, but when it awakens, look for us to marathon this coaster again and again. We just discussed the A+. Now let's talk about the only coaster that gets an F at Six Flags Great Adventure. The Runaway Mine Train is one of the original rides at the park before it was Six Flags and is a standard Arrow mine train from back in the day. While many mine trains are still going strong, this one has seen better days. In fact, this is a top 20 least favorite roller coaster because of its roughness. Check out the link above to see our worst coasters in 2022, or what we like to call the ouch list. This ride vibrates so bad that our teeth chatter, and even though we love how the ride flies over the water at the end, it is unbearable with the roughness. This ride truly brings the pain. On a happier note, let's talk about their 2 family coasters. Harley Quinn Crazy Train is the perfect complement to the Joker, and it's right along the lake. The Zyre Double Figure 8 coaster was themed to Blackbeard's Lost Treasure Train till 2015 and is a clone of other coasters in the Six Flags chain. With the grade of a C, this is a fun little ride, and depending on the attendant, you sometimes cycle through 2 to 4 times. If there is no line, we love to walk on this attraction. Coming in with a grade of B- is another iconic ride at Great Adventure, Skull Mountain. Why a B-? We have never had a bad ride on this mouse in a box. Built by Intamin, the outside theming of this ride is some of the best that we have ever seen. Even the waterfall is still working on this attraction. While not much on the stat department, we try to ride this coaster every visit, especially if it's hot outside. We have actually gone this far in the video and haven't mentioned the most iconic ride in the park. Well, let's change that. Kingda Ka is record-breaking. Even though it was built in 2005, it still holds the record for the tallest coaster in the world. Heck, it's still a top 5 in the fastest. Standing at 456 feet in height and going 128 miles per hour, you would think that this coaster is an easy A. You would be wrong. A solid C student all the way. We only ride this coaster if there's no line and we can walk on. But why? It's a one-trick pony, and a short trick at that. It has the speed, it has the height, but doesn't have much of a ride, clocking in at only 28 seconds. You fly down the track, you climb the vertical top hat, you fly back down, you hit a small airtime hill, and you're done. Not worth a wait in a long line. These grades aren't about the quality of the ride, it's about if the ride is worth it. And for us, King Ka simply is not. 2 more coasters a grade, and this one is the final DC-themed ride, along with the last clone, and that is Superman Ultimate Flight. This coaster always has a long line, so even though it is a great ride, it earns a C+, because the dispatches take so long that if anybody is in line, there's going to be a wait. This B&M flying coaster is the same ride as the original at Six Flags Over Georgia, with one big difference. This is another parking lot coaster. The biggest saving grace on this coaster, and what gives it the plus in the grade, is its amazing pretzel loop. If you have never experienced this element, make this ride a must-ride for your next visit. Our final coaster really needs a paint job, but it's still a must-ride for us, and that is Nitro. While this B&M Hypercoaster is the 3rd one ever built, we actually don't mind waiting in line for it because the theme music is so darn catchy. Seriously, I find myself humming it right now in my head. Built in 2001, this 230-foot high coaster is all about floater air and speed, clocking in at 80 miles an hour. This ride mixes the intensity of almost graying out on the helixes with the fun of hovering above your seat. So, there you go. That's how the 14 roller coasters at Six Flags Great Adventure stack up. We have 3 A's with Nitro, El Toro, and Medusa. We have 2 B's with Jersey Devil and Skull Mountain. I know, it's hard to believe. And we have 4 coasters that you need to skip on by: Joker, Dark Knight, Little Devil, and the Runaway Mine Train. Let us know what you think about our grades. Do you like making the grade series? What can we do to make it better? And finally, if you want to see more on Six Flags Great Adventure, click the Explore video above, and remember to like and subscribe to our channel for a lot more content in 2023. Thanks again for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the queue.